Hello, welcome, Marlene here. Today we'll be making I think it's called a Friendly Lion by Wilton. Stay tuned for the step-by-step tutorial. I'm prepping my pan for my cake here, and what I found works best is some Crisco that I'm just generously rubbing into the pan, and then I will flour. I'm going to pour flour in the pan and make sure that it gets into all the little crevices. And now I can just put in some flour, and I'm just going to rotate the pan so that the flour coats the whole thing. And I'm going to go shake this off over the sink. Here's what the pan looks like once it's all ready. You can see it has a nice layer of flour there in the bottom. Here's my baked cake. Let's see how easily we can get this out of there. So there, a little bit of an accident here, but let me mention I should have taken this out of the pan while the cake was still like kind of hottish, but it's been in the fridge. I was kind of in a rush last night, so this is my own fault. That wouldn't have happened had I just taken the time to take it out of the mold yesterday. Let's get the cake ready for the decoration. I'm just adding a bit of icing here to the cake board, and I'm going to transfer the cake here. So I don't even care about the design that's there. I'm not really going to follow it. I'm just now going to add a white crumb coat to this cake. This is a cake mix cake, and they tend to really fall apart. And so I'm going to start adding the buttercream with a piping bag along the edge here, just because I don't want to break up my cake. I'm just squeezing a bit of icing underneath the edge because I have a bit of a seam against the cake board. So just to solidify the under kind of edge, I'm doing that. And now I'm going to cover the cake with my buttercream. It's really, really crummy. The cake mix, the box cake, tends to fall apart way more than, scratch cake. It's much more fragile. Like, I would never attempt to carve box cake or to, start doing kind of structural stuff. So here I have the main. I want to keep that nice shape. The crumb coat has had time to chill. I'm going to come in now and add the final kind of layer of white icing to the surface of the cake. I want to hide the cake. Had my cake in the freezer, and I'm just going to have a last pass at any cake that's kind of showing, just to make sure I have a nice edge. Getting the lion's face ready, and I'm just spooning on here a thick amount of the yellow, or I should say gold, buttercream here, and I'm just smoothing that out. I need a considerable amount here. I've got a layer of buttercream on there, and now I'm just covering that with saran wrap. Try not to get any pleat in it so that it gets nice and smooth. Now I'm using these guys. These are for cookies, and I'm just rolling out the buttercream so that it's all the same thickness. All right, and now I'm taking this cutter and I'm just pressing into the buttercream, creating like a beveled edge for the face. And now the ears, I'm just doing the same thing over here and over here. There we go. And now I'll be able to pop this into the freezer to set up. I'm gonna recut it on the cookie sheet here. There. And my two little ear sections. All right, I'm going to pop that in the freezer so that it freezes and I can handle it. Now I have some white buttercream, the same set of parchment underneath and saran wrap on the top, and I'm rolling it so that it's all the same thickness. And now this is going to be the nose area, so I'm cutting that, and I want to create the inside of the ears. And now for the inside the ears here, I'm just pressing that down and over here. That'll be inside the ears after. All right. Let's pop that in the freezer again. Same thing as before. Now I've mixed up some kind of brownish black buttercream. And the same process, covering it with the saran wrap and rolling that like so. And now I'm just cutting that with my cookie cutter. Done. And in the freezer this goes. Here is that head section once again. I'm going to remove my excess buttercream right here. And then the ears, I'm cutting out the center to receive the white there. There we go. I'm going to cover that up again with the saran wrap. Oh, I have a little air pocket there. I was wondering what that was. And I'm going to heal my little crevice that I... Alright, so let's smooth that out. And I'm just going to reshape that. There we go. Alright, back in the freezer. I'm trimming the nose so that it fits nicely on the head. And then the inside of the ears here, there and there. Going to cover that up with the saran wrap and put it back in the freezer. Here's the nose, so I'm just going to trim that with the cutter that I'm using for the white area. Okay, so there, be able to trim the excess off. I think I'm going to just put it in the freezer. It's not quite set up, but I have a general idea of the shape. So back in the freezer. I'm impatient. Just marking up my cake to have an idea of how I want to decorate it. Now, I've marked off the face. The tail will go like here. And then he's got his hip there. He's sitting. I'll use this heart cutter to kind of mark that. That'll do the job right there. And then I'm going to take that all the way up and do a foot. Let's see. I think I can use this T cutter to make my foot, so it'll be perfect. Okay. I'm just going to add a bit of this yellow color or tan color so that I can add my sections on top of this for what's going to be showing. So there, that'll be enough. And so there. Okay, that'll be good. I'm just going to actually repeat my saran wrap technique right here and just smooth that out. Put it in the freezer and then I'll be able to remove that. So let's smooth that out. Have my head here after. So there. I'm going to put the T there, and then that hip will go like so. That'll be perfect. Got my pieces here chilled and I can quickly put this together now. Here is the head. So let's just smooth out the edge here of the nose. Goes down a bit on the yellow, like so. There. And let's get that nose done. I'm going to position that right there. Perfect. There's the little lion's face. I'll have my leftover black for whiskers and for the eyes. But that's perfect. And let's assemble the ears. I've got here my white that I'm just popping into the yellow there. There we go. There's my 2 ears. I can just get rid of all this saran wrap. And I'm going to pop my lion's face back in the freezer so that I can handle him. Alright, I'm just covering this so that it stays all nice and smooth. There. Try not to get any of the black on your nice colors. And then here, I'm just smoothing out my ears here because they're not even, so I'm just going to actually roll them a little bit there so that the seam kind of meets up. There we go. There's my ears. Kind of shape them and I'll be able to peel those off after. Alright, all this in the freezer. I'm making the hind leg of the lion. I've got a large heart cutter and I'm just smoothing out here my buttercream. I put a bit too much, so I'm just going to stop rolling because I'm going to have it spill onto my parchment paper. Okay, so this is the hip. I'm just cutting that. You can actually leave the cutter if you want, just to make sure that you get a nice shape. We'll peel that off once it's chilled. Now I'm working on the front leg and I'm using a T cookie cutter. And exactly the same thing, flattening out my buttercream. And now I'm cutting the T. And once again, you can just leave that like that and we'll put it in the freezer. Once it's set up, we'll break it apart. All right, ready to add the face. It's chilled. I've got it in the freezer here, or got it out of the freezer, I should say. And now I'm just going to drop the lion's face right on the cake like so. Have my big cartoony nose, which I wanted. Now that I've got that on, I'm actually going to add the eyes right now, just because, just in case I make a mistake, I can now correct whatever's wrong with my project. So I'm going to add the eye here. And a little eyebrow. You know what? I don't think I'm going to do whiskers. I'm just going to leave it like that. So that's it for the face. And now I'm going to add my legs over here. I think I'm going to add just a bit because the leg is going to go up to here. So I'm just going to add a bit of buttercream there and over here. Just to get a nicer seam. There. All right, now I'm ready to add that leg. So the direction is like this. I'm just going to trim off the back part. There. Oh, it's not chilled yet. I'm gonna have to put it back in the freezer. All right, that's fine. All right, now I've got my heart here that I want to add to the cake. Let me feel that. Does it feel like it's pretty hard? I can lift off that and that. There we go. Okay, now I can pick it up and put it into position right here, like so. And I'm just going to trim off what I don't want. Right like that. Get a clean piece of saran wrap now, and you can just kind of rub that edge and rub it so that it fits into the cake here. There we go. Perfect. All right. And now actually I can come in right here and do the tail for my lion. Perfect. I just have to add my foot, then I'll be able to add my mane. See, let's see if my foot is ready here. Lift off my excess buttercream. There we go. I'll get my cake. There we go. Let's pick that up. Get the cake in frame here for you guys. And there. All right. Get a fresh piece of saran wrap to kind of press that in. There. Perfect. There's a bit of a crack, but that'll heal. All right. There. And now I can just remove here. So here I'm just smoothing my buttercream with my mini palette knife here to get a nice seam. Perfect. All right, so I've got my brown buttercream ready. I'm going to start actually with the tail. Let's do that. And now I'm going to actually add a little tuft coming down here, like that. And now I'm going to add all the way around some little kisses of buttercream. Create the mane. Just follow the circle, the imaginary circle. And there we go. And I think I'm going to go here. We're going to add the ears now. The ears I created earlier. Let's see how they fit. I think I'm going to have to just trim off a smidge. So I'm cutting off, and I'm going to put the ear just like that. Same on the other side. And there's the ear. All right, let's continue adding the mane around the lion's face. There we go. Thought the cake was missing a bit of something, so I'm just adding a bit of grass at the bottom here. There we go. Just add a little bit of color to the lion. There. Here are some chocolate rocks. Just again for some added detail. This is supposed to be a boy cake. There. And I think that's it. You could certainly add whatever you'd like to, but I think I'm going to stop now myself. I hope you enjoyed today's cake project. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and I'll see you next time.